Hello, thanks for listening to our talk. My name is Dr. Irlanda Olave and I'm presenting together with Dr. Villarreal and Dr. Flores. Welcome.
The name of our presentation is Reflective Journals of Lengua Inglesa Student Teachers at a Practicum Program. We belong to Cuerpo Académico 40 from la Universidad Autónoma de Chihuahua. We are basing our work on Sean from 1987, who said that reflective journal writing is believed to facilitate future teachers' process to think critically on their teaching experience and then generate feedback for its improvement. For this work, we use the reflection framework of Sean. Sean believed that reflection is a process of self-examination and evaluation in which teachers should engage to improve their professional practices. This is represented in a circle because this is an ongoing process. It's a process that begins but doesn't end with action reflection, it continues. Sean extended Dewey's ideas on reflection when observing future teachers in action. This led to coining the terms reflection in action and reflection on action as forms of reflective thinking. Reflection in action refers to the quick thinking and reaction that occurs as a teacher is doing something. For example, in the classroom, when the teacher notices that something is not working, then reacts to that. Reflection on action is what occurs outside the classroom when the student teacher considers the situation again. Now the student can think more deeply about why her students did not understand what caused the situation, what options for action she had, and why she chose an option over another. The present study is part of a larger research about the Practicum program in the Lengua Inglesa major at a university in northern Mexico. The aim of the study was to identify the focus of student-teacher journal reflection during Practicum and explore the challenges faced by them. Few studies in EFL teacher Practicum in Mexican universities have targeted the focus of pre-service teacher training's reflection. Hence, to fill this gap in the literature, we initiated this study. The following two questions guided this research. What is the focus of student-teacher journal writing during Practicum, and what challenges are mentioned by student teachers during Practicum? The Bachelor of Lengua Inglesa from a university in northern Mexico prepares student teachers in the teaching of English as a second language. Teaching practice, or Practicum, is recognized as one of the most important aspects of teachers' education. Practicum in our program occurs in the 9th semester, where the student teachers are placed in selected elementary or secondary schools for a few weeks. Then each student teacher is assigned a university-based supervisor and a school-based mentor who are experienced teachers to support and guide them during their Practicum. All participants of the study were selected through a known probability sampling, namely convenience sampling, a technique where subjects are selected because of their convenient accessibility and proximity to the researchers. They were in fact our students at the Practicum course for the academic years from January 2017 to December 2019. These 30 student teachers were asked to write reflective journal entries throughout the 14 to 15 weeks of their teaching Practicum experience. The participants were assigned to teach an ESL course at an elementary or secondary public school every Tuesday. All participants were required to document their experience in a portfolio that included writing their teaching philosophy, writing lesson plans, observing their mentors and their peers, video recording themselves, meeting once or twice a week with their university supervisor, and writing a reflective journal. This was then a qualitative study, and we used reflective journals as a means of collecting data. Reflective journals were collected from the 30 students, and they were asked to answer these questions in each of the entries. What happened today? How did I feel? And what did I learn? A total of 402 reflective journal entries were gathered for analysis. We number each entry, and to protect the identity of the participants, the data were anonymized by giving them a code using the journal number and 2 letters taken from their names. This way, participants were identified, for example, as 02EM, 014DG, 028CL, etc. Data were collected through the portfolios the participants sent to their supervisor and analyzed using the constant comparative method of grounded theory. At first level of coding, we read the participants' reflective journals several times, identified their recurring patterns and the common subthemes. Next, in actual coding, the subthemes or subcategories were combined. That is, the similar concepts and subthemes were linked together to form broader and more inclusive codes or categories. Finally, in selective coding, more core categories or central points subsuming other categories were selected to summarize the data. The analysis of the journal entries resulted in the development of a 3-theme theoretical model which was named Emerging Concerns in Practicum. The first theme, Adjusting to Practicum, consisted of the participants' entries during the first week at Practicum when they were asked to observe their mentors. The theme, Teaching the Class, described the informant's intermediate weeks at Practicum when they began teaching, and the category, Focusing on the Students, described the participants' last week at Practicum where they had been teaching for a few weeks and were about to finish their experience. Each team had derived challenges. Specific comments were sought to provide quotations that represented each of these derived challenges. This table summarizes the emergent concerns in Practicum found with the data, the emergent themes, adjusting to Practicum, teaching the class, and then focusing on the students, and the derived challenges from each of these themes. I'm presenting next quotations from the participants that showed each of the challenges coming from the themes. This student, 048AE, said, I was really nervous about teaching the class. I felt like it was my first class ever. The teacher gave us a little introduction to the class, and then she told them that it was a very special day because I was going to help her to teach the class. This belongs to the challenge of overcoming initial feelings of apprehension. This belongs to entry 64 from student AG. I have now started to teach. I was very excited and nervous at the same time since I had never taught before. I did not know how I was going to do it. I was extremely nervous, but when I entered the classroom and started to talk to the students, I felt more confident, and I guess I did it well. This quote from entry 135 from student GL comes from the emergent team teaching the class. They do not know how to follow instructions. They're always talking, and when the activity is given to them, they do not know what to do. I really need to think about a strategy where I could gain their full attention and even repeat the instructions several times if needed. This entry example from the theme teaching the class belongs to entry 155, learner AO. I noticed that the entire class was in Spanish. They only spoke English when they read. For being intermediate, they don't speak much and don't understand very simple words that they already should know. Then we went to third and fourth, the same happened. She She talks to them in Spanish, she even explains in Spanish, and the kids barely speak English. This entry is also an example for the team teaching the class. The entry comes from 194 from participant DG. One of my strengths that was much highlighted everywhere in this project is that I care about people and their learning, and my limitation is that I don't know grammar. This entry is an example for the team focusing on the student. It belongs to the entry 027 from participant DG. I felt happy to see that some students were learning and a little bit frustrated to see that some did not understand something so basic as the verb to be. I will do another general review next class because if they cannot understand something so simple, I cannot move on to harder grammar and vocabulary. The focus and level of teachers' concerns changed over time. At the beginning of Practicum, some practitioners questioned their own adequacy in fulfilling their teaching role. As they understand the context and their role as teachers, some practitioners' concerns moved to survival mode, class control, mastery of content. Later on, their concerns may turn to teaching performance and the impact of the learning. Fuller and other authors suggested that the teachers who are concerned about their students' needs have reached what they call impact concerns.
Hello, thanks for watching this video till the very end. I know that it's difficult to attend a congress like this because of the circumstances. So that's a double thank you for listening or for viewing our PowerPoint presentations instead of being face-to-face talking to you. I wish I could be with you, but unfortunately, because of the circumstances, we're not. So let me present the conclusions of our research. The findings of this study support previous studies on pre-service teacher reflection during practicum that indicate student-teacher focus on understanding the context, managing their classes, improving their teaching, and on improving the learning conditions for their students. However, it is not enough to identify the focus of our students' concerns, but we're also worried about ways to preventing and managing them. These concerns should be addressed with improvements in the courses offered at the university and with better partnership with the schools of practice that allow for the selection of good mentor teachers. Reflective journals, besides being a way to promote critical thinking in practitioners, can also help us educators to anticipate and oversee the preoccupations that future teachers reflect on, and so that all the actors involved in practicum have a better understanding of the teaching learning process. There are more studies that are needed like this. Further largest qualitative studies through interviews and classroom observations of the practicum could be conducted to identify the strategies used by the practicum students to overcome their concerns. I'm sure that after watching this presentation, if you are a student at one of the universities that offer Lengua Inglesa, is probably thinking of the concerns that you have faced, of the challenges that you have encountered during practicum. So you're welcome to share your experiences with us. Thanks for watching, and we'll see each other in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching this video until the end. If you have comments or would like to ask questions, you may contact us at the emails that appear at the end of this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you for your presence today. From behalf of Dr. Cecilia Villarreal and Dr. Flores, we salute you and goodbye.